If you're tired of getting beat every game in Madden 26 because you don't know what you're doing, this is going to be the perfect video for you. Today I'm breaking down 5 glitchy tricks that will make you unstoppable here in Madden 26, so long as you actually implement all 5 of them into your gameplay. From ways to stop the run in the backfield every time, and a pro trick to make your offense completely unstoppable and super toxic. I've got it all covered for you in this video, so make sure you don't skip out on any of the tips. Let's jump right into it. The first thing I want to break down is a defensive trick that's going to allow you to get instant sacks on the quarterback in a hurry. Let me show you what I mean. Alright, so we're talking about the D-pad switch stick here, alright? So you can do this from a lot of different defenses, but the one that I like the most here is going to be from Mike Blitz 0 in nickel D3 Cub, right? You're going to drop this man into a curl flat here, and so then you're going to shift your D-line left, then you're going to drop your outside linebacker into a curl flat, and then you're going to, when they take the snap, you're immediately pressing the D-pad to the right. And this, again, is what we call the D-pad switch stick, because the reality, and this is what a lot of people won't tell you, you cannot switch stick when your user is blitzing. So this man is my user to start the play. This is the guy that I'm clicking onto. He's in a blitz assignment. If I were to flick the right stick here to try to get switched onto this guy, it wouldn't work. I would just whiff and it would make my defense horrible, right? But because I pressed the D-pad to the right, again, I've already pressed D-pad to the right before Trevor Lawrence, the quarterback, has the ball here. That's the key. It's as soon as you recognize that the ball snapped. Obviously, for me, I'm snapping the ball for the offense right now, but it's like you need to be paying attention to that ball. Like a good defensive lineman in the NFL, you need to be able to have a good get off and immediately press that D-pad to the right. Because again, if you call this and you're just flicking the D-pad in all different the right stick in all different directions, you're not actually going to be able to get switch stick on your guy. But you actually need your user to blitz to be able to create this 4-on-3 advantage. Now, like I said, you can do this from a lot of different defenses here in this game. This time, you're going to create a 4-on-3 advantage. Other times, you might be trying to create a 3-on-2 advantage, depending on the blitz that you're running. Or it might be a, 5-on-4. I don't know. But here with this one, you're going to get your user to run into the center, which is why it's really important to make sure you're standing in the right spot. I always teach this as 2 yards over the left shoulder of the center, because when you press D-pad to the right, you want to make it very hard for the guard to slide over and block you, essentially. So boom, take the snap again, press D-pad to the right, and so that's what's going to allow you to get those instant sacks. I've called this blitz, I don't even know how many times this year, catch people off guard so many times with it. You can also, if you want to, come into nickel double mug, because you can honestly do the same thing. Like I said, it's not just here from 3-3 Cub. We come into double mug. This is another one that I get people with all the time, because they think that you're running mid blitz, running the Boston 6 version, but then you hit them with a D-pad switch stick. So again, you're going to step this man out into a curl flat. You're going to stand 2 yards over the left shoulder of the center. Boom, take the snap, D-pad switch stick, and then you're able to see how we have that instant pressure. And again, the best part is with this, you're back over the middle of the field with your user defender or on the sideline, whatever you need to guard. You're back into coverage. It's almost like you're starting to play on this man, but you're actually user rushing them with this man. I think the D-pad switch stick is one of the best defensive features that's obviously ever been added, one of the most useful, because you're able to, again, get the best of both worlds, where you're back into coverage really quickly with this defender, your outside linebacker, who you might want to have a pass coverage guy here, right? And then you are basically user rushing them like you started to play on this guy, creating, again, the 4-on-3 advantage, and you're going to be able to get those quick instant sacks on the quarterback. And if they block their running back, it really isn't going to be the end of the world, because you're still going to have that advantage where now, it's now going to be even. So it's going to be 3-on-3 now. Or it's going to be 4-on-4, but the reality is running backs are still going to struggle to block these linebackers and outside linebackers at the point of attack. So we'll go ahead and block our running back right here. We're going to take the snap, press D-pad up, and you see how actually that time he just didn't block anyone. He just had no recollection that a guy was coming in clean, so it doesn't even matter. So that's the reality here with this. It's like you get flying pressure. If the line doesn't block a guy, that's very scary for them. Line doesn't block him, terrible job, and the running back never even steps up to see him. So really you need to start using the D-pad switch stick from like 3-3 Cub, from double mug, from 4-3 even 6-1, a bunch of different defenses you can use this trick for, but just stand over the center, drop your man into a curl flat, and literally as soon as they snap the ball, just press the D-pad to the right, and you're going to get that flying pressure while being back over the middle of the field to guard whatever they could have open. All right, because now I want to break down exactly how to speed boost here in Madden 26. Too many players are still new to this, don't know what they're doing, and if you're not speed boosting right now, you're leaving a bunch of yards on the table that you should be getting. Let me show you what I mean. Alright, so we're going to be talking about the speed boost here, alright, and so really what we're going to see is that, you want to make sure that you have a guy here that can actually do the move. So I'm actually going to put Brian Thomas Jr. here at my gadget player so I can hand him the ball here. But Brian Thomas Jr. is a great example of this. 90 plus speed, 97. You want to have 90 plus agility. I've used him before. He's 6'3", so like his strides are longer anyway. So he basically has 90 agility, honestly, just because of his height. But then he has 90 plus acceleration at 95 and then 90 plus change of direction. So those are the type of guys that you really want to make sure that you're having here at this, ball carrier position when you're trying to speed boost, making sure you have the right ratings. But really what you're going to notice when you hand the ball off to a player that can speed boost, it's almost like you're going to be gliding all over the field, all right? So there's you can actually speed boost on every single play with every single handoff, but it's like you're just going to be able to get to your spots way sooner than you would be able to if you weren't boosting. So you're going to notice how I'm just going to get to that spot, be able to cut through that gap a lot sooner, which messes up the pursuit angles of the defenders, right? You're also going to be able to get out to the edge just like that. You're going to notice I'm out on the edge way faster, and that allows me to pick up a bunch of yards out there on the sideline. That's one of my favorite things about the speed boost is, like, this guy has really no chance to set the edge. Just because I'm just going to be able to boost and then kind of run backwards to make sure that he can't, like, get me. So, like, I'm kind of running backwards a little bit here just so that I can run around him just because I know I'm going to get to my spot sooner. So you can really just pretty much almost guarantee that you're going to get out to the edge and then you're just able to cut it up. Like, this is absurd. Now, I will say this guy's one of the best boosters in the game, but especially if you're playing MUT, like, this is a routine thing. To just be able to just get out to the edge. It's going to be very hard for them to set the edge simply because you're getting out there just way earlier. Now, you can also cut it up if you want to, but I would say if you're calling an inside zone run, typically it's just the best to try to get the ball out here. You see how that guy came in completely untouched right there, and yet I'm still able to score a touchdown on this play simply because I just dumbed out his pursuit angle by just boosting right around him. Right, and so that's really what the name of the game is. So again, we take the handoff here. This guy comes in completely untouched. I know I have nowhere to go besides out to the sideline, and you would never be able to do this without the speed boost here in this game. So boost, get away from this guy, and then again, this guy's going to have a tough time setting the edge simply because he's matched up against a lineman, and so then we're just going to be able to turn this into a big gain. But also notice how Harrison Smith has a pursuit angle here. This is good defense. But I just boost, dumb out his pursuit angle with that little baby step, boom, and then I'm just faster than him, so I'm just going to be able to outrun him for a touchdown. So that's really the danger of the speed boost for the defensive perspective and why you need to start using it. And how you're going to do it, you might ask, is you're holding right trigger, all right? So once this is something I'm going to talk about later in the video, or no, actually talking about it in a college football video, but you don't want to hold a right trigger as soon as possible. You only want to do it once your blocks are set up or you're actually ready to speed boost, because if you try to hold a right trigger and you're not boosting, you see how, I mean, right here it doesn't really happen, but it's like there's going to be times where the defensive linemen are going to shed faster. So you want to make sure that you're holding the right trigger, left trigger, and left stick where you want to run to be able to speed boost, but you only want to do it once you know that your block's set up and you found the gap that you want to run to. So again, when you're calling an inside zone run, typically you're just trying to bounce it all the way out to the edge just like this. I mean, it's just going to be very routine, very easy. Boost away from that guy. I mean, you just see how explosive and broken and dangerous this is. And like I said in the intro to this segment, if you're not doing this, you're not mastering this, you're just leaving yards on the table that are just easy. Like, the game's literally just giving it to you. Right there, they do a good job of gang tackling, bringing me down to the ground, but it's like you're just playing the averages game, especially when you're running the ball. Boost away from him, cut it up, and we're able to turn a negative 2-yard loss into a 5-yard gain simply because we're boosting. So you guys understand it now. It's right trigger, the left stick where you want to run. You're already aiming the left stick where you want to run, and then you're tapping left trigger or L2, depending on your console, to be able to get these really good boosts, right? And so you can also chain it up with like spin moves, juke moves, do a lot of stuff. But really with like a guy like Brian Thomas Jr., you could just boost all over the field and turn these into easy yards. So start implementing the speed boost into your game, because honestly, like I said earlier, if you're not, you're just leaving yards on the table that should be yours. All right, so if you found those first two glitchy tricks helpful here in Madden 26, make sure you go down below, hit that subscribe button. I break down Madden 26 tips and tricks to help you guys get better every single day, and you don't want to miss out on any of the content that I have. But if you want my full offensive and defensive ebooks bundled together for a $5 discount, go to the link down below in the pinned comment. You can grab them today by using code YouTube to get 20% off. It actually takes the discount from $5 to $12, which is absolutely game changing for you, especially because you're getting a complete offensive and defensive scheme. You can save it on your phone during gameplay, always reference it. It has videos, screenshots, write-ups, everything you're going to need to dominate on both sides of the ball here in Madden 26. So I highly recommend you check it out, and let's jump right back into the video. Because next I'm going to break down a trick that's going to help you completely shut down corner routes, something too many players are completely clueless about. Let me show you. Alright, so you can actually do this from any defense in the game, but what we're going to be talking about here is the double Mabel coverage. Alright, so we're going to put our flats and our zone drops on 25 yards. Alright, and so what we're going to see right here is they're just going to call streak corner. Alright, streak corner, boom, Washington on the streak, Myers in the corner. Well, now you have your blue zones dropping to 25 yards, and so he's going to do a great job of being in that spot. Now, you can't really control that right there unless you click on. Like, sometimes he just gets a really bad animation, or he's just short. But he's right in the spot to make the play. We take the snap again, we throw it again, and this time, again, he just gets destroyed. But I mean, like, I'm not going to sit here all day and like, explain this. Like, this is very simple. You have a flat dropping to 25 yards, right, and a corner route running at 25 yards. You just need a guy who can actually play the ball in the air. I guess number 23 isn't, oh, well, I say that, and then he actually catches the pick, asking you shall receive, I guess, right? And so he's able to knock that pass away or intercept it. It's going to be pretty consistent. First two times, kind of not, but going to be great defense. And the great reality is, if you have your flat set to 25 yards, they're at 25 yards on both sides of the field, which means that if they try to go corner out to the other side to maybe Travis Hunter, well, now we're going to take this snap, and you're going to notice again how you're going to have a guy on that right side of the field dropping to 25 yards and knocking that pass away, you know, for an easy, you know, breakup or interception. Same thing, Travis Hunter corner. This guy's dropping 25 yards to knock the pass away. But probably what you're screaming at your screen is, BLC, the flat would be wide open. Like, there's no flat on the field. And you're right, because if they just hiked a flat, they could even pass lead it up the field. That's a first down, right? And so that's the reality. And that's what makes cover two kind of annoying to run, is like, if they just flood one side of the field, right, you're going to have, like, you have no options, right? Boom, you're kind of just picking your poison. If you brought your flat closer to the line of scrimmage, and that's really where the speed boost becomes important, but, you know, if you bring your flat closer down, then they have the corner route open. You walk him further back, then the flat's open, until you start using the double Mabel coverage, because that's just regular cover too. Just set your flats to 25 yards, you're going to be able to do a great job of playing great defense. But if you switch it up, and now you're going to put your slot corner in a curl flat like this, and you're going to drop your outside linebacker into a curl flat as well, so now it's just something like this. Now you're going to see how you have a 25 on one side and a 5 underneath of him. So now you're going to be able to do a great job of stopping those little flood concepts that they're going to try to call. So again, boom. All right, put him on the wrong route. Boom, corner, shriek, and we have a flat. Well, now we're actually going to be able to get out there and stop that flat route, right? Especially if our guy is fast. I mean, Brian Thomas Jr. is way faster than that guy. But you have a 5-yard flat there, and you also have your 25-yard flat dropping to be able to stop the corner route. Right, so we set it up, same thing, where you might not know which side they're attacking, which is why you want to make sure you have the 25 and 5s on both sides of the field. And so now you're going to be able to see how we have exactly that. They're going to flood this left side here. We have a guy sitting at 5 yards to knock that pass away. Well, again, we also have a guy at 25 yards to be able to stop that deeper pass down the field. So that's really the name of the game here, is actually using your zone drops from like a cover 2 defense to not only be able to stop corner outs, because obviously you're going to have to stop corner corner routes, you can't really run cover 3 and you can't really run regular cover 2. But when you start using the double Mabel coverage, you're able to stop both the deep sideline and the short sideline at the same time, really making this one of the most useful coverage in the game. Honestly, it's not just corners, it's posts, crossers, corners as well, but really being able to stop the short sideline at the same time is really what makes this coverage so great. But that's how you stop corner routes and everything else that they might try to hit you with along with the corner. Alright, and before I jump with those final 2 tricks here in Madden 26, they're going to absolutely transform your game and you don't want to miss out on, make sure you go down below, hit that subscribe button. Again, I break down Madden 26 tips and tricks every single day to help you guys get better, and you don't want to miss out on any of the content that I have. But let's jump to those final 2 tips. Because next I want to break down a pro offense trick that's going to make it way easier for you to play offense, like I said earlier in the video, and it's super, super toxic. Let me show you what I mean. Alright, so this is going to be best from a bunch or a tight formation here. Bunch X nasty, gun tight doubles, like those types of formations, alright? So what we're really going to see is we're going to have them in a random defense, and the trick that I'm talking about is going to be the flip trick, alright? So we look at their defense right here. They look like they're actually in dollar, right? They're in dollar or dime, whatever you want to call it. So when they're in dollar or dime, this isn't going to be as effective, right? But the difference is they only have 3 defensive linemen, so you would probably just try to pound the rock because they're sacrificing a defensive lineman for another DB. But the trick here is to flip your defense, because now, actually it does help you here, because now their defense is going to be misaligned. You notice how that slot corner, again, they're in dollar, so there's 2 slot corners. There's no reason for that slot corner to follow unless you flip your play. Because now this seam pass is going to be a lot more open simply because there's no slot corner on that side, right? So we just, take this snap right here. Not only do we have auto motion, but again, you can kind of, or he just bumped, I just do a pick, but he just bumped into that guy. That seam pass was going to be wide open because, again, there's no slot corner on that side of the field, right? And their whole defense is misaligned. Right here, what are they in? I think they're in, they're just in double mug right here. So there's 1 slot corner, right? It's going to be this defender right here, right? And so if they don't flip their play, that's exactly what's going to happen, where he's just going to stay put now it's going to happen a lot of the time, sometimes he will follow, which I'll show you in a second. But if he just stays put, well, now you know what coverage they're going to be in on the left side. Like, they're most likely just going to be in a cover 2 because they just don't have the right numbers on that side of the field. So we're just going to go with it again right here, where we're just going to take the snap. We know they're in cover 2, and like I just showed you earlier in the video, it's like if they're in cover 2, they're kind of picking their poison, where they can only defend the deeper pass or the shorter one. So again, right here, I think they might be in like big nickel, but there's 1 slot corner, so we're going to flip our play again. Slot corner is not going to follow, and so now you have the numbers advantage because we look at their coverage. Well, we know what coverage they're in. They were in cover 3 on the left side, they're going to be in cover 3 on the right side, and so now we just, and a lot of times you're going to force them into panic, right? Panicking on defense, which can honestly lead to them blowing their coverage. But then you also see how you're just going to have that corner out there wide open on the sideline for an easy wrap or possession catch. But really the bottom line here with this is it's like when you flip your play, it just becomes so dangerous for them on defense, because now what you're going to see also is I might put like a cover 3 cloud on the field, where this is very common, where they're going to have a cover 3 on the passing strength side, a cover 2 on the weak side, and so when you flip your play, well, now if they don't follow, right, now they do follow, but what happens? This curl flat is playing now across the field, so you see how their alignment is completely messed up on defense, meaning if I just put my running back on a table route and there's no flat on that side, it's just going to be an easy completion and their defense sucks. And I'm able to speed boost and turn this into a huge gain down the field simply because a simple flip trick. All we did was press X and then I pressed the right trigger to flip my play. And now, because of that, we just have them completely misaligned our defense and we can really do whatever we want. So really with this trick, it's not necessarily something that is guaranteed to necessarily work every single play, but it's just something that's nice to use and understand why it works. But you're just going to make it very frustrating and really hard for them to play defense simply because you're just flipping all around, forcing them to flip with you and then readjust their defense, or their defense is going to be misaligned because you flipped. And that last glitchy trick that I want to break down here in Madden 26 is actually going to be an unguardable route that's, again, impossible to stop, and it's really effective. Let me show you what I mean. Alright, so this is going to be really effective from a bunch or a tight formation, but the route that we're talking about here is going to be a stem down post. So you're going to put your receiver on a post route, and you're going to use the left bumper and then the left stick to be able to stem the post all the way down so that it runs like this. You're stemming it all the way down to the minimum right here, as low as it can go. You're going to put RB on a shriek, you're going to put A on a drag, and block your halfback, right? So this is what it's going to look like now, and really what you're trying to get is, you see how Jacoby, he gets a speed boost off the line. Again, especially against man coverage, right? It's really one of the most underrated and unique routes in the game, and to be honest, some plays already have a post. So again, you can hot route him, or you could just custom stem him all the way down, or you could have the stock post. So again, boom, take the snap, and you're just also going to notice when you're playing against zone coverage, he's going to get to his spot a whole lot sooner. So that's really the key, is actually getting him to his spot sooner, because if you just leave him in a regular post, which a regular post can work, but look at this. We're going to count when he gets to the sideline if we have time to throw. We're going to see what yard line it is. When he gets all the way down there to the sideline. Like, I would say that's probably about like the 10 or the 5 yard line by the time he's actually able to get to the sideline, which is really where you're trying to throw that, right? But if I stem it all the way down, I could still hit the post in the middle of the field, but he's going to get to the sideline way sooner here. Boom, and you see also how when they're in man coverage, it just becomes, it gets that speed boost to get to his spot sooner, and it's going to be an easy gain. So again, post route, stem the post all the way down, RB on a shriek, block your halfback, and you're going to see, boom, take the snap. He gets zone coverage, gets to his spot sooner, and gives me a better opportunity to throw that pass there, versus if he keeps running further up the field, he's just going to run into a deep zone. Right there, I was under significant pressure, needed to get rid of the ball in a hurry, and I was able to do that and find my man open for just, an easy completion. So again, post route, stem the post all the way down, block the halfback, and so you're going to be able to see, boom, take the snap, zone coverage, find our guy open in the middle. Like, that would never be possible. That would never be possible if that was a regular post route, because he would run too far up the field, and so then the defense, the deep zones, would be able to guard it. And again, it's really important when you're under pressure like this. You feel the pressure. I know I have a safety blanket here in the middle because he makes his cut so much sooner. Like 2 yards on the route, he's already making his cut and breaking to the sideline and turning this into an easy gain. I'm going to speed boost around this guy, spin that guy out, and turn that into extra yards down the field. So whether you're playing against a man coverage or zone coverage, using these stem down post routes, especially from like a slot alignment here or an X alignment here from, a bunch formation, and you're just going to be reaping the benefits. It's probably even better against man coverage, but don't get it mistaken, it's great against zone coverage as well, just because he's able to get to his spot sooner and turn that into a big game. So start using these stem down post route in your offense and reap the benefits of it. Alright, so if you found any of those 5 glitchy tricks helpful here in Madden 26, or you're going to take them in your next game and start using them, make sure you go down below, hit that subscribe button. I break down Madden 26 tips and tricks to help you guys get better every single day, and you don't want to miss out on any of the content that I have. But if you want my full offensive and defensive ebooks bundled for a $12 discount, go to the link down below in the pinned comment. You can grab them today by using code YouTube to get 20% off. Guaranteed to transform your offense and defense on both sides of the ball, just like I did here in this video. And if you want to see a gameplay of me running that Bucs offense against a real opponent in a live action game, check out this video right here. I'll see you over there. Peace.